For every drone that conquered the skies, dozens of unmanned dreams crashed and burned before anyone ever heard their name. These are 20 American drones that were meant to change warfare forever. Some were too ambitious, too expensive, or simply defeated by the very machines they were built to replace. Lockheed D-21. This Mach 3 reconnaissance drone was launched from the back of an SR-71 Blackbird. It was built to fly over China's nuclear test sites without being caught. Several missions ended in crashes or lost film canisters. The program was quietly buried after years of embarrassing failures. RQ-3 Darkstar. This flying saucer-shaped stealth drone was meant to be the invisible eye over enemy territory. Its first prototype crashed just 1 month after its maiden flight. Aerodynamic instability and skyrocketing costs doomed the project. The Air Force killed it in 1999 before it ever saw real combat. Aquila RPV. This Army reconnaissance drone consumed over $1 billion before it was canceled. It was plagued by constant requirements, creep, and crushing cost overruns. Congress declared the program uneconomical and shut it down in 1987. A scandal that reshaped how the Pentagon managed future drones. Boeing X-45. This unmanned combat air vehicle was supposed to be America's first true stealth attack drone. It actually flew successful weapon drop tests and proved the concept worked. But the Air Force lost interest and canceled the program in 2006. A breakthrough drone killed by shifting priorities. Northrop Grumman X-47B. This carrier-based stealth drone made aviation history by landing on an aircraft carrier autonomously. It was a stunning success in every demonstration. But the Pentagon canceled the program anyway in favor of a simpler tanker drone. The world's most advanced naval drone retired into a museum. General Atomics Predator Sea Avenger. This stealth version of the legendary Predator was faster, sleeker, and armed to the teeth. It had folding wings and an internal weapons bay. The Air Force watched it fly and then refused to buy a single unit. Private sales kept it alive, but the military walked away. QH-50-. This unmanned drone helicopter was designed to carry torpedoes and nuclear depth charges from small warships. It was revolutionary for its time. But constant crashes and unreliable control systems led to the loss of over 400 units. The Navy eventually scrapped the entire program. Kettering Bug. This was America's first cruise missile. Built in 1918 during World War I, it was designed to fly a set distance and then dive onto enemy targets. Only a handful were ever built. The war ended before it could be used, and the project was abandoned. TDR-1 Assault Drone. The Navy planned to build 5,000 of these radio-controlled kamikaze drones in World War II. They carried 2,000-pound bombs and were controlled from nearby aircraft. 50 saw combat and scored 31 hits. Then the entire program was suddenly canceled without explanation. A AIRQ-2 Pioneer. This was the first combat drone ever used by the U.S. military. It served in the Gulf War and even accepted surrender from Iraqi troops. But its accident rate was catastrophic, with dozens lost in crashes. The Pioneer was forced into retirement in 2007. Boeing YQM-94 Compass Cope. This high-altitude reconnaissance drone was designed to replace the U-2 Dragon Lady in the 1970s. It could fly higher and longer than anything before it, but budget cuts killed the program before it could enter service. Another stealth dream lost to accountants. Lockheed MQM-105 Aquila. This battlefield surveillance drone was supposed to guide artillery strikes with laser precision. The project burned through nearly $1 billion in research and development. It never worked reliably enough to deploy. The Army canceled it and walked away with nothing to show for the spending. A AIRQ-7 Shadow. This tactical drone served the Army for nearly 2 decades in Iraq and Afghanistan. It was the backbone of brigade-level intelligence. The last Shadow was retired in 2024 without a replacement ever being fielded, a workhorse forced into extinction before a successor existed. Future Tactical UAS, FTUAS. This program was meant to replace the retired Shadow drone with a modern vertical takeoff system. 2 prototypes competed, and a winner was nearly announced in 2025. Then the Trump administration suddenly canceled the entire program. The Army was left without a tactical drone at all. Gray Eagle Extended Range. This upgraded version of the Predator was the Army's flagship armed drone program. It could fly longer, carry more missiles, and strike deeper than the original. In 2025, the Pentagon canceled procurement entirely. A proven combat drone killed by budget priorities, shifting towards smaller systems. UCLAS program. The Navy's unmanned carrier-launched airborne surveillance and strike drone was meant to be the future of naval aviation. Requirements kept changing between surveillance and combat roles. Contractors got frustrated. The Pentagon scrapped the program entirely, replacing it with a simple refueling tanker instead. MQX program. This was supposed to be the stealthier, faster replacement for the Predator and Reaper drones. It would carry retractable cannons, bombs, and advanced surveillance gear. But funding evaporated and the program dissolved quietly. America's next generation drone fighter was canceled before it even had a prototype. DARPA, A-160 Hummingbird, and this autonomous helicopter drone could hover for over 20 hours without refueling. It was built for silent surveillance and special operations insertion. Early tests showed enormous promise, but technical problems and shifting military needs killed the project before it could enter service. A quiet revolution that never took off. Sikorsky Cypher. This bizarre donut-shaped drone could hover, take off vertically, and fly through tight urban spaces. It was years ahead of its time in the 1990s. Despite successful demonstrations, no military branch ever placed an order. The Cypher was shelved as a curiosity with no customer. Convair BGM-71 aerial target drone. This was a crude, unmanned target drone used for testing surface-to-air missiles. It suffered constant reliability issues and poor flight control, and the drone was abandoned in favor of more modern target systems. A forgotten footnote in the long history of America's unmanned failures. A QM-34 Firebee. This drone flew thousands of reconnaissance missions over Vietnam, North Korea, and China. It was one of the most successful early drone programs, but high loss rates and advancing technology made it obsolete.